And now it's time for a commercial.
Early September here, 2021, and we're back since last year. I haven't been here this year at all, at the far end of Abraham Lake, which is actually not true. We were here earlier in the year because the mountain that's running behind me there, the peak that's sticking up, I actually climbed that with my hiking partner Heather, and we got up to the 2 o'clock ridge. But we're on the other side of the river this time, and we came to check out Siffleur Falls, which has a neat and quirky little trail. You have the great North Saskatchewan River that's flowing in behind us, where the water color is never really crispy green because there's so much current that's coming out of there because the sign. You are in the North Saskatchewan River watershed. It just says here there's the Clyde River and there's the North Saskatchewan River, and both of these rivers are what feed Abraham Lake. So technically what comes out of Abraham Lake is the North Saskatchewan River, but they could have named it something else. Corporal Frederick George Victoria Cross, Operation Varsity, March 24th, 1945. That's just a plaque showing the awesome little bridge here, which is a suspended bridge that you get to cross the North Saskatchewan River, and you get quite the view here as well. And it sways quite a bit. You can see it from over here at this angle that the bridge is quite crooked because I mean it just sits there where the weight is. And then there's some ecological plains on the other side of this cool little bridge here. And you can see this is the cool little suspended bridge here. And last time I was here, I had my dog, and they really don't like this grell mesh thing. You can see right through all the way to the ground, and you can see all the water that runs across here, which is kind of neat. You can see from this angle too that the bridge is very crooked, but it's kind of just sitting there suspended. And if the crossbars aren't perfectly straight, it kind of wobbles around, but it's suspended, so it doesn't really matter. And as soon as you get off the bridge, they actually recommend you to stay on this trail because this is the an ecological area here. It's a sensitive ecological zone that has eroded due to the large number of visitors through this area. So this boardwalk has been put up to help control the erosion. Too many people walking, and there's actually certain species of ground squirrels that hang out here, and they'll walk around all over the place. And you can see them quite a bit, like Lake Louise and further south. But around Jasper, you don't see them at all. So here we're kind of like almost at the most northern part where those little critters like to hang out. So it's kind of neat that they put this walkway through here. So generally, if you find a trail in a park, just stick to that and don't veer off, because that it prevents people from creating all sorts of man-made erosion from people just exploring all over the place in these parks. It's at the 2 kilometer mark already. It didn't feel like it was that long, but yeah, you cross the suspended bridge and you hike through the ecological area, and then you come across this quirky little bridge here. Obviously, last time I was here, it's the same thing. Always really high currents at this little river here, and super cold. You can see right through the water, and it's got that clear, like turquoise-ish color. It's really, really cool. And also, last time I was here, a lot of traffic from tourists around. but it seems like if you come here in September, you have a lot less issues with dealing with people. It's kind of nice. I don't mind people exploring, but there's certain areas and certain times of year that I avoid because there's too many people there. So you got like this gorgeous view on all fronts here, really. You got the Lake Kinglet in the area and the Tough Puff and the 2 o'clock ridge in behind us. Then over on this side, I have no clue what these mountains are named. I'll research it and pop it up on here for you guys. But you got this gorgeous little bridge. So now from here, allegedly, I think it's like a 4-ish kilometer hike to get up to the Siffleur Falls. And I guess there's a few other vantage points on the way. So we'll show you guys anything that's interesting along the trail. But 2.5 kilometers in, so about half a kilometer away from the second bridge that crosses the Siffleur River, you'll hit a little, it's like a viewpoint. I'm not even too sure what the viewpoint is going up to. I'm not gonna go up it because I don't think you have much of a view, but it's right here. And you can veer up this side of the trail here. You can probably just see the valley here a little bit better and the mountains on the backside, but the river is kind of hidden down here. So it's like a small creek, so you're not gonna get that much of a view is my guess, more so than what you would get from the bridge or anything like that. But yeah, so once you see that little trail split, just keep on the main trail, and there's like an actual sign here. It says, dangerous cliff, stay behind fence, stay on marked trail. So yeah, you just stick on the trails. So around the 3.5 kilometer mark, there's another little lookout. This one you have to walk right by it. This is kind of like a nice little canyon. It's actually pretty reminiscent of the canyon that follows the Ram Falls, which is about 70 kilometers south of Abraham. So check that out. I have a video on that as well. But I'll show you guys here what this looks like. We're also gonna make sure you watch your footing around here because there's nothing to really stop you from sliding down. And then I don't know if you can see from that over there, the trail just follows the top of this ridge. It's kind of just steep enough. You're just gonna hurt yourself and get to the bottom. So you kind of have to be careful on these ridges here, how it's really high up. You don't wanna go for a slide down. It's 3.8 kilometers to get to the actual falls. You got that cliff that goes down there in the pretty water. And then you got the Siffleur Falls, which is almost reminiscent of Sunwapta Falls meets Athabasca Falls. It's kind of a cross between both. Trails beyond this point are unmarked. Proceed with caution and at your own risk. Thank you, government of Alberta. Ta-da! This also reminds me of the top of Crescent Falls in a way. Really noisy as well. You can get uncomfortably close to these falls if you want to. But yeah, you can tell that this stone here, if it's wet, you gotta be careful if you're getting out here, because it's well polished off. We'll just put it that way here. So you can keep on going past the waterfall, the first one, and I suggest you do because now you can come across and you can get actually quite close to some of the embankments on the side of the Siffleur River. So past the Siffleur Falls, I guess there's a second set of waterfalls here, and I'm gonna see if I can weasel my way through here without getting wet. And cool little spot to come check out here as well. You have a lot of these little candy things you can come down. Gives you better access to the rapids and some really cool photo ops here, just because you're so close to the river and you can get access to take pictures for the mountains and stuff in the background. So yeah, really enjoy getting close to these high current streams. It's extremely noisy, but it's extremely thrilling, and regardless of the temperature in the summer, it's always breezy beside a mountain stream. We're at 5 kilometers total here, so it's not even that far up to get to the set of second falls, which is just down over here. Obviously you have to be super careful here, because this is definitely a good place to drown. But it's extremely pretty, extremely pretty. I'll show you guys here.